Hi guys, it's me, how a New Year's adventure in the world. It's coming to an end. This is our last day together. It's been a very long and incredible 4 weeks.
And short at the same time.
Long and short, that's true, yeah. Long and short, yeah. Full of adventures, full of incredible experiences.
We started off our trip in, where did we start? Korea. We visited Jeju Island, an amazing resort island for 5 days. And then moved to Seoul. We based in Seoul, move around the whole country basically. Yeah. And then after that, we were off to Fukuoka, Japan. We had a transit, but a long one. So we had, I think, one whole day. So we got to drive to Itoshima, an amazing rural area there.
Incredible experience.
We had amazing ramen.
Oh yeah, that's
My highlight of the trip. Yeah, we were off to New Zealand, our main destination of this trip. We were there for 12 days in total. We spent around 3-4 days in the North Island, which is relatively small. It had amazing mountains, lakes, and then natural hot springs. We enjoyed it a lot. And then we were off to the South Island where our friends are. We had our friends hosting us for
three
three
nights.
nights.
Three
Three
nights
nights in total. And then they took us to amazing places. It was all good.
That's true.
Yeah, we loved it all. And
And after that, we went to Hawaii for last few days.
where we are.
Exactly, right here. So aloha.
Aloha. So during this trip, what kind of mistake that you made or something, is there something you could have done better?
For sure, definitely parking for me. That was a big problem. On the very first night, I realized that I don't have my driving license with me, so we couldn't rent a car. I was accidentally trying to rent a car with my vaccination card because I was sure it was my driving license. But then on my way, I lost a bunch of things: my clothes, some of my equipment, yeah, a lot of things. So parking for me is always very messy, and I would like to be more organized when it comes to that. Don't do things last minute. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of don't do things last minute, we were pretty last minute with planning everything. So, well, of course, we were always trying to be spontaneous and, adventurous. So obviously, it's good to sometimes not plan anything at all because we were trying to catch this real cool train in New Zealand that goes through the east coast of the South Island, that where you can see all the most beautiful sceneries of all time. But when the time we tried to book it, it was full. It was booked fully in the next 1.5 months. But when it comes to transportation and some certain activities, you may want to book them in advance. If you prioritize some activities or some things that you want to do in your travel destinations, then maybe book them.
What was your favorite moment? What is the highlight of this trip for you?
What I loved most was that I met up with my friends after 9 years. In New Zealand, I had a host family in the 10th grade or before 8th grade. They hosted me for only 3 weeks, but after that we kept in touch and we got to meet up on this trip after 9 years, and I was this tiny and now I grew up too. They didn't change, but they welcomed us with the biggest hearts. It was just amazing. Trips, you don't only get to destinations and meet new people, but you can travel to places where you have your friends, your old friends. So then, yeah, it's to be connected, It's really good to have people around the world that you know.
Well, mine, not to say the same. New Zealand was the best. Like, oh my God, I loved it so much. Yeah. I think the mountains in Arrowtown, we went for this not too long hike. It's like 4 hours. In New Zealand right now, it's winter. So when we started in the morning, everything was frosty. Everything was covered with like this thin layer of ice. And then as we kept on walking, everything started to melt and like to come to life.
I was the one responsible for the budget. We were operating in 7 different currencies, sometimes at the same time. So we tried to stick to the budget plan that I had made on the first day of our trip. We took the total of 10 flights. 9 of them we bought at the same time through Kiwi.com. Since we only could book our flights a few days ahead, we were expecting them to be crazy expensive. However, with Kiwi's Nomad function, we found the best configuration for the countries we've planned, and we only spent 2,806 euros for 20 flight tickets. And look at the distances we're talking about here. When it comes to accommodation, sometimes we went for the cheap places, sometimes we went for the convenient ones. We stayed at hotels, hostels, B&Bs, and with our local friends. We fit within the budget plan, paying an average of 23 euros per person per night. In total, it's 1,288 euros. Since we are nature lovers, most of the activities we did were completely free. The most expensive ones were Waitomo glowworm caves and a fancy hot springs in Rotorua for around 40 euros per person each, but it was absolutely worth it. We moved around a lot, with cars, ferries, trains, any means of transport possible, so we spent quite some money on it. More or less 17 euros every day, which gives 476 euros for the whole trip. And we couldn't resist Korean bibimbap or a fresh mahi-mahi fish in Hawaii, so we set a high limit of 1,500 euros for proper meals. It's 25 euros per person per day. And we spent it all. All that and some side expenses sums up to around 7,300 euros for the 28 days long trip.
Do your research and plan ahead a little.
A little. Sleep is really important, but something you can miss while traveling. You may have too much fun in the night, and then the next morning you still gotta get up. Your body time scheduling may mess up. So then one of the days you can plan a night out. One of the days you can plan dinner with friends. But at the same time, one of the other days you can plan resting.
So that's it. 4 beautiful weeks behind us.
Thank you for being here, watching us, and thank you to Kiwi.com. Our journey will go on.
Yes. Bye.